Good morning, one and all. There's Spooky. For those of you who saw brief fuzzy things on me, a tail and a pair of ears, that was Spooky. He's the youngest of the group. He's the one I had to bottle feed when I first got him. But really, only for like one night, and then I poured some formula in a bowl, and he was quite able to lap that up, so I would feed him in a bowl from then on. He didn't really need the tit to hold on to, he just needed the formula. Easiest bottle feeding job I've ever had. As a general rule, when I am given a cat that I'm told needs bottle feeding, they seriously have to have it for like a week or week and a half. And you gotta try and make sure to get it to them every 2 hours. Much more than that, yeah, if you have to get up in the middle of the night. When I'm sleeping, they don't get it exactly every 2 hours, but I try and get up at least 2 or 3 times during the night, and 3 times in an 8-hour sleeping. 8-hour shift. So, the more I found myself singing Boy George today. You're gonna miss me, you're gonna miss me, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. Jan thought it was George Michael. No. Boy George did go off on his own, but he was still Boy George. George Michael came from Wham. Whole different ballgame. But she's not denying it. I'm pretty sure she's gonna make the move in with Anna. And it turns out Anna has a fenced-in backyard, so Jan can let her 3 dogs out at one time and not have to put a leash on Nabil. And not worry about little sis running off and disappearing for 2.5 hours. I mean, she'll appear. She'll be right on the patio. She hears the door open. She looks at you, wags her tail, and runs around the corner of the building. The idea is for you to chase her. But of course, I'm always in socks. I understand she's a puppy and wants to play. She's an 80-pound puppy who wants to play. But, I just get mad. I went out a couple nights ago and I felt bad. She'd been out 2.5 hours, and I cursed at her, loudly and in a very bad tone of voice. Dropped the F-bomb on her, and she tucked her tail and tucked her head and came on in with me. Straight into her crate. I had to apologize to her and tell her I was sorry for yelling at her and all that. Oh, she got the apology. Actually, I had to comfort the other 2 dogs as well because they weren't sure what I was yelling at. They figured it was them somehow. Even though I wasn't even in the house. So I need to find, maybe where Mikey stayed. That trailer home park. Is that nearby? Nearby to Dawn? Because if it is, I could go there. I know I could find something in my price range in South Dakota. Just turns out the last Criminal Minds was from South Dakota. I know I could find something in Harlan, Kentucky. It's supposed to be the roughest area and around. From a guy who used to do oil. There's a nuclear testing thing. He dated my sister, and he'd put that down the hole, tell them what they were dealing with down there. And we went up to check some stuff over the Kentucky state line one day. I didn't get back till after dark. And he told me, he said, dude, don't go to Harlan. Don't ever go to Harlan. I'm like, Crossville's the epitome of the movie Deliverance. far as the power structure goes, I mean, thousands upon thousands of new people have moved in, but the people who make the rules are still the ones who were there originally. People who were there when I got there in 73. They're still the ones running everything. Good old boy network works. If it's somebody new out of the new crowd who gets elected, they learn quickly. There's a power behind the throne and it's in control. How much worse could Harlan be? For those of you who have never watched it, Justified. Justified really covers Harlan pretty well, I think. I got my meds yesterday. I was so proud. I obviously tried to show you a picture of them. Turns out they're not putting me back on Coumadin. That's a pre-printed form. So, if they'd been putting me back on it, received Coumadin instructions is a sentence right there at the top. But if they don't circle Coumadin, you're not on Coumadin. It's like I said, it's a pre-printed form. The first 3 pages are pre-printed. That way Doc doesn't have to sign anything. He just circles what he needs referred to. So since I'm not going on Coumadin, I can donate blood again. Yay! Like I said, there's no telling how much I donated to Medic when I was in East Knoxville, because I had no clue where the Red Cross place was, but you can't miss the Medic place if you get off at the 17th Street exit and get back on at 17th Street exit. And I probably donated to them 35 times, maybe 40. Next donation to Red Cross will be 45 times, not counting the 2 times I donated platelets before my insurance company found out they were transporting me to donate. They won't pay for that. They only pay for you to see a doctor, not to donate something that'll save up to 3 lives. Because platelets only store like 2 hours. And there's a circle of hospitals around the Red Cross. And when I was donating my platelets last time, they said, we've already got hospitals calling for them. So, they were going out of there and straight to a hospital. Or hospitals. Apparently you can split up platelets and save 3 to 5 lives, depending upon how much everybody needs. And you can do it every week between donations. So I got to call the Red Cross back and tell them to put me back on their call and reminder list and find out when I can donate next and set up an appointment. Damn, I've spent too much in the past 2 days. I had $150 to spare and I spent $145 at Wally World. Jan knows better than let me walk around on my own. I had 6 things on my shopping list. Oh, that reminds me. Where'd my pen go? There it is. So my doctor who prescribes my psych drugs wants me to see the doctor above her there. Kind of worried about that. Power cable. See, the dogs have chewed my power cable, and I have to maneuver it, and it's getting harder. And I try and get it so it'll charge every time I set it down when I go take a nap or go to sleep. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So if it doesn't, I gotta bring it in here and try and get it to work. It works best if pressed against my leg. So I don't use my little pad. Well, it's actually the top of one of those crates that doesn't match any of the crates we've got left. I've bought all new ones for me, and remember the lid on all of them. It's so cute. They put "Remember the lid" on top of the lid, not on the crate itself. So if you're going to forget the lid anyway, you're not going to notice it on the lid. People didn't think that one through. But, yeah, I use that top so it doesn't burn my legs and I don't block the air access to the side and all that. But the charger has to push up against my leg, and I have to play with it a little bit to get it to charge while I'm using it. Anyway, I'm looking for someplace, I guess in Blount County, around $300. Or I'm going to go to Kentucky or Arkansas, where I can, both places I'm sure I can find something under $300. I prefer Arkansas because I prefer the warmer weather, but I do understand redneck Kentuckians, because I was raised around redneck Tennesseans. It's become obvious to me that the one who shall not be named is not going to contact me, although she said there's no way she would go to her 30-year class reunion unless I went with her. Now, I've put it out on Google, YouTube, Facebook. If she has her IT guys looking for her, I've hashtagged it me, I've hashtagged it her. If she has her IT guys looking for it, well, first off, my name's at the beginning of all of them, so they should be able to find me. Any idiot should be able to find my sites. Might have trouble with the Tumblr site, because you'd have to know my full name for that one, and the initials I go by. But, that's about it for today. For the moment, I'll probably have more later. Maybe after I walk the dogs, if they don't kill me. I way overslept. I slept till 10. When I was in the facility taking all these same drugs, I was still up at 5:20 every morning. And I woke up during the night anytime they brought in a new person or they knocked something over. I'd get up, make the bed, put on my watch, put on my clothes, and go out in the day room thinking it was time to get up. And they'd look at me and said, "It's 1 in the morning, go back to bed." Oh, okay, so I'd go back to bed, take all my clothes off, lay back down, and fall asleep. Funny stories of things that can only happen to me. Jen gets a kick out of telling them to the people at work, and they all find them hilarious. Like the one where the bus driver saw me knocked over by little sis, falling on that hard-packed driveway, cutting that and that open and all that shit. Oh, by the way, the doctor said I did such a good job wrapping it, she didn't want to rewrap it. So, in addition to Miranda doing a great job taping with me and Jimmy pulling it together, thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Miranda. Now, she loved that work, and then she loved my own work that I do, because yeah, I'm really kind of talented at it. I'm lots and lots of practice. I'm always hitting something. I'm always falling. I'm always cut up somewhere. It just me. I really don't have to self-mutilate to get pain, so but it's more fun that way. Anyway, I haven't done that since that once, and my shrink still has my knife from when he sent me to the loony bin. I've left a message that I want it back. I see him every Monday right now. I think I'm going to try and skip Monday after tomorrow, day after tomorrow, because I have the psych appointment, and I don't want to go through the rigmarole of the idiots at the facility losing it again. Anyway, I got to get off here before I hit 15 minutes. Anderson out.